What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol BBIG for Vinco Ventures. On the left-hand side, we have the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, the 30-minute intraday time frame. First things first, this will, of course, be an update. We've talked extensively in the past about how important 3, the nice round number, was, and certainly on Friday, we did close above that, and we got some follow-through on today's session, but there's a lot of nuance that I want to discuss here. You can certainly see on the daily time frame, big upper wick resisting at the bottom of the overhead gap from in here, 357 up to 378, and certainly closing weak back down underneath the daily resistance trendline, back down underneath this horizontal area of prior resistance, 328. So overall, doesn't look fantastic here inside of BBIG. However, I'll give credit where credit's due. We are technically still above 3, the round number. So if this is going to be a trend change, what needs to happen now is this support trend line coming in from the low, doing something like this. This needs to continue to hold up here if it's going to be a full-fledged reversal to the upside, and we're going to see 380 and then 4 and so on and so forth, maybe get into that daily 50 SMA. That support trend line needs to hold. If into tomorrow's session this starts breaking down, then I would just look for continued chop. Obviously, you're not really going to touch it down here. If we come on over to the trade tab, what you'll remember is that it's hard to borrow, so you can see that up here. And actually, this isn't too bad. The at-the-money strike here does have 3,400 contracts going through, 2-cent spread on an 18-cent contract. Not the most attractive thing in the world, but probably as tight as that spread will ultimately ever be inside of BBIG. I would probably, again, just recommend staying away from trying to play the short side here. Now, because we're sort of talking about that, well, again, any breakdowns here, you're just taking this off your radar, not really in play. But where's the long-sided entry to the up, to play that upside there? Well, I would start to argue any candle closes, candle acceptance back up and over $3.28. And we should also take out the Fibonacci's just to get a sense for where that lands from a fib perspective. And would you look at that, very close to the 50% retracement mark. You'll also notice, this is interesting as well, the 61.8 is acting as resistance into this end of day push here, which, as we know, any consolidation that happens here is overall a 30-minute bear flag that's forming, and breakdowns, as we know, we don't want to be involved inside of BBIG. So very, very difficult to play something like this to the upside, which is why I'm going to continue to say that, it's not the most attractive trade setup out there. I think that there are other opportunities. Sure, if you want to go into this with an extremely small size position where it's not going to hurt your portfolio, if it turns against you, then by all means, do whatever you're going to do. But in terms of making this your primary trade objective to see BBIG maybe back up towards 5, I would start to reevaluate and look for other opportunities inside of the marketplace. Now, I'm probably going to eat my words, and maybe tomorrow it's going to give us a gap up and do a candle that looks like this. There's always that possibility in the marketplace. However, I think the possibility of that happening is, very, very small. Okay, so those are my 2 cents here from a technical perspective. Also some feelings on, what I'm thinking about here. Overwhelmingly, also, let me just do this and remind you, the stock's been in a fairly aggressive downtrend ever since its heyday of momentum sort of fizzled out. You can see volume is nowhere near what it used to be as it was really making those strides into like 10, 11, 12, that area there. So, in speaking of volume, maybe I'll leave you off with this as the last thing. If the move is going to be higher, if it's going to take out that resistance trend line, if it's going to take out the 61.8 and make that move up and over 328, then it needs to happen on really high volume. It needs to at least be sustained 30-minute bars with 5 million shares or greater coming through on BBIG. Okay, so that's how you're going to know if it's going to be a momentum style move or not. If it's less than that and we just continue to taper off, come back down to like sub 1 million, you really wouldn't want to be involved in this name. So that's truly going to wrap it up. If you enjoyed the video or learned anything new, let me know in the comments section or by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked in the description. And all of that being said, I wish you a green trading week.